What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Second Passport. Today I'm going to share why I just got fined by the IESS almost $1,400. It's like the Social Security system here in Ecuador. I used to have like a 19-room, smallish hotel here in the Quito area up until about the pandemic. And then because of the pandemic, I was kind of forced to close the business. But it went well for like 8.5 years. I had 4 employees, and it went pretty good for me. But right towards the end of that run, one of my employees, this is why I got fined, went to go get something done in the IESS hospital that cost $1,017, and I hadn't paid that month on time. My IESS payment, because it's something you have to pay for all your employees every month. And if you're late, I didn't know this until now, because I wasn't late very often in 8.5 years, but sometimes some months, I admit, it's the last thing I paid because everyone else was in my face wanting me to pay them right on the day that I had to pay them, like payroll and different things like that. So sometimes it's got pushed to the back, and I didn't realize it was this serious. Because in 8.5 years, this is the second time I did get fined by the IESS for not paying on time. But the first one was just $100. This one was over $1,000. Now, what's the difference? Depends on the work that your employee has done, right? So I didn't realize it was like that, especially not being from Ecuador. But like, she went in and got some procedure done that cost over $1,000. And if you're not on time as an employer in Ecuador, for that person, and they get something done, the 100% of the medical bill falls on you, the employer. 100%, right? So if she had like heart surgery or something, $60,000 fee, that would have fallen on me, the employer. But if I would have paid on time, that whole medical cost would have been covered. So again, if you do affiliate someone to the Social Security system down here in Ecuador, what I learned from this, make sure you pay on time. I did get notified of this, but I had so many other costs with the business closing. And since I liquidated and paid the costs necessary to let go of my employees when the business closed. I kind of didn't. Since I wasn't using the IESS anymore, since I'm not personally affiliated to the public system here. I just kind of let it go. And for 2 years, it's generated $349 in interest. So what happens now, right, if you don't pay this? Well, the interest keeps accruing, so obviously I'm going to go pay it now. But also, it is technically able to be appealed, but almost no one has any luck when you're fighting the Social Security system in Ecuador. It's kind of like a mafia. When I went to the office here in Quito, the main office, to see what my options were, basically it is appealable, but almost no one has luck. And I had some issues in the IESS because I haven't used it for a couple years. I had to update myself in the database and things like that. And so I eventually got to talk to one of the directors of the IESS, right, in the head office upstairs, you should say. And he said, yes, this is appealable when I asked him, but I would say no, right? You're going to wait a few months, keep paying interest, and then I would tell you no. And I said, so the appeal would go to you and you would tell me no? And he said, yes. So not much point in appealing, because then you'd have lawyer fees as well, something in the IESS. And if you don't pay one of these fines you might get, they can and do freeze your Ecuador accounts, and they can put a hold on your passport or your Ecuador cedula to not allow you to leave the country, right? So it's pretty serious if you don't pay these guys, kind of like a mafia. So again, that's what happens if you don't pay. So that's kind of your recourse. Now, the only thing you can do, and what I did to kind of give me a little bit of time to pay this, because it's kind of a hefty bill out of nowhere, right, that I wasn't expecting, is you can put it on a payment plan. You can request a payment plan on the amount so it will stop accruing interest and give you a few months or whatever to pay it off, right? Maybe they'll give you 6 months, kind of depends on the situation and the amount, or maybe even up to a year. I've seen North Americans that move down here. They're really quick to affiliate people, right, and take on employees. And you want to be a little careful of that down here, right? Affiliating someone to the Social Security is kind of like adopting them, right, down here in Ecuador. So obviously, it's something that you have to do legally when you take on an employee, even if it's a part-time employee. But if they're regular, you have to affiliate them down here. But if there's any other options you have besides taking on a regular employee, like contract work, you might want to consider that, like hiring them for the day, contract work, something that's not steady. You might want to consider that, and in that case, you kind of have to ask them for their factura or their legal receipt, um, so that the you don't have the burden or the obligation to affiliate them to the Social Security system. Mr. Second Passport, if you like this, don't subscribe to the like button below. Take care.